I declare this ceremony open. Please be seated. Colleagues, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, as Vice-Chancellor, I want to welcome you to this graduation ceremony for the School of Social Sciences. I'd also like to welcome our honorary graduate, Esther Mujawayo-Keiner, who in a few minutes will give a speech to us all, reflect on her experiences and some advice, I think, as you move into the next stage of your lives. The university gives great consideration to offering these invitations, and we're delighted when persons of such distinction wish to join our community. These ceremonies are the highlight of the academic year. It is a time we share in and celebrate the success of our students. So, to our graduands, I'd like to offer my own personal congratulations on the academic achievements that are about to be recognised. I'd also like to ask you to pause for a moment to think about those people who've supported you as you made this journey, in particular family and friends. So, graduands, please join me in a round of applause to thank all those people sitting behind you who helped you along your way. It has been another very successful year for our university. As we take pride in being a teaching-intensive university, I will start with a few highlights arising from our educational provision. All higher education institutions in the UK are reviewed every 5 years to examine the quality and standards of their teaching. We had our review visit in February, and we're delighted that we were not only judged to have met all national expectations, but also to possess examples of notable practice, in particular our focus on both the employability of our students and our relationships with employers. The most recent data shows that our graduate employment rate continues to rise. We remain committed to innovation and enhancement within our curriculum. The university moved up 6 places in this year's Guardian University Guide, thanks to improved scores for student satisfaction in course quality, teaching, and feedback. The most recent National Student Survey results reported 87% of our students were satisfied or very satisfied with the university, ahead of the sector average. And we were ranked 13th in the What University Student Choice Awards. The Guardian Awards this year saw NTU take the top and the runner-up spot in the Teaching Excellence category, recognition of our bold approach to new methodologies of learning. We also won the prestigious Times Higher Education Award for Student Experience with our student dashboard, which supports students and their tutors in conversations about academic and personal development. These are all clear signs that NTU's commitment to innovation in teaching and learning is having a strong impact on you, our students, in relation both to satisfaction with the things that really matter to you while you are studying, but also in your employment prospects when you graduate. I said we are a teaching-intensive university. We're also an enterprise university. We have a long-standing reputation for many of our courses incorporating sandwich years. Increasingly, our students undertake work placements. The Hive, which provides support for new student startups, has helped create 400 companies over the last 15 years. NTU won the 2015 Guardian Business Engagement Award for our greenhouse gas project, where students work as consultants for small companies to reduce their carbon impact. This is consistent with NTU being one of the greenest universities in the world. We were ranked 4th in the People and Planet University Green League in 2015. The university adopts an entrepreneurial approach across all of our activities. We are a major shareholder, for instance, in Notts TV, the most successful local BBC franchise. Such projects enable us to integrate fully work experience into the curriculum. Underpinning all that we do is research and scholarship. As with our teaching, our research is evaluated by our peers once every 5 years in a process called the Research Excellence Framework. The most recent results were published last December. 100% of NTU research submitted under biomedical sciences, business management studies, and psychology was categorised as world-leading or internationally excellent. We have a number of world-renowned research groups that have attracted significant international funding, including the John Van Geest Cancer Research Centre, which was established here at NTU by a significant founding gift and is doing crucial work on breast and prostate cancer. Central to the success of our students is the commitment and talent of academic staff here at the university, many of whom join me on stage today. These are the people who've enabled you to achieve your ambitions during your studies with us. There are also all those university staff in professional roles who've also helped you in student services, student support, catering, security, and so on. I know that these colleagues take as much pride as any of us in working for university that empowers students to fulfil their aspirations. Again, I ask you to join with me in showing your appreciation of their efforts. The other major contributor to the success of the university is Nottingham Trent Students' Union, and I'm delighted to report that they have won the National Union of Students Student Union of the Year Award for 2015. Well done, folks, that's a great achievement. Each and every school at NTU strives for excellence and provide exceptional education to our students. And I can show today only a few of the successes we've achieved in your school over the past year. The Division of Psychology continues to demonstrate excellence across research, scholarship, and teaching. Staff demonstrated their collective commitment to outstanding scholarship by publishing a second edition of their successful textbook, Essential Psychology, with over 50 contributors from NTU. It is sold worldwide, with all royalties donated by the authors supporting NTU psychology student projects. The division also received recognition for its involvement in the Safer Living Foundation, which won the Robin Corbett Award for Prisoner Rehabilitation in 2015. Building on the close working relationship between Watton Prison and researchers in psychology, and developed with the help of the Hive, this groundbreaking charity aims to prevent future victims of crime by reducing reoffending in high-risk sex offenders. Overall, we provide an excellent education and student experience to almost 30,000 students, including around 20,000 undergraduates. We're pleased that approximately 3,000 international students drawn from 110 countries choose to study with us each year. In our view, diversity in our student body has educational benefits within and beyond the classroom. In this context, we are proud of being a university that offers opportunities to students from a broad range of backgrounds. We have as many UK undergraduate students from the least well-off households as we do from the most well-off. We believe that promoting participation and encouraging aspiration are central to our social mission. We are proud that we create graduates who make strong civic, as well as cultural, environmental, and economic contributions to our society. We believe that in so doing, we are making the world a better place for everyone. That is why we value our links to Nottingham, one of the UK's great cities. It is why it's important to us that our students undertake 40,000 hours of volunteering in the community each year, that almost 500 of our staff also regularly support local charities and schools during their working hours. When you graduate, you'll form one of our alumni of this university. You join a body of over 125,000 former students across the world with whom we are in contact. As you'll have seen from the display prior to the ceremony starting, they work in a range of occupations, have a range of achievements. It is a great network. Do use it. And do keep in touch as you make your way in life. In time, consider how you would help future generations, as some alumni will have helped you with lectures, placements, careers advice, scholarships, and contributions to facilities and research. But that is for the future. Today, enjoy your success with your tutors, family, and friends. The Chancellor will now admit you to your degrees.
Thank you, Vice-Chancellor. We will now present graduands with their awards, and I invite the stewards to bring forward the first group. Graduands, as you leave your seats, please remain in your current order to receive your certificate. Kevin Cahill, CBE, Chancellor of the University, will confer awards on students from the School of Social Sciences. These students will be presented by the Dean, Cathy Moore.
Chancellor, the following have qualified for awards from the School of Social Sciences. Doctor of Philosophy degree, Ashred Hamed, whose research is on national and international crisis management, the influence of Libyan intervention on the duration of the Darfur crisis. Danielle Mays, whose research is on assessing the role of sexual knowledge, beliefs and attitudes in sexual offending by intellectually disabled men. Angelica Ortez de Cortore, whose research is on the real-life impact of virtual interactions, exploring game transfer phenomena on video game players. Marianne Chua, whose research is on the role of positive and negative childhood events in the risk of developing personality disorders. Master of Arts degree in Advanced Social Work Practice, Helen Burrows. Master of Arts degree in Criminology, Anita Domanasvich, Louise Newton. Master of Arts degree in International Relations, Lewis Hall. Master of Arts degree in Professional Practice, Jahangir Khan, Alison Lawrence. Postgraduate Diploma in Childcare Practice, Anita Bradley, Frances Hemingway, and Florence Chimbuswa. Bachelor of Arts degree with honours in Childcare Practice, Sushila Singh and Beverly Barsby. Bachelor of Arts degree with honours in Criminology, Danielle Biggin, Holly Brownlees, Emily Cupit. Candice Davis, Rachel Nolan, Eve Powell. Zoe Roberts, James Smart, Alexandra Woodward. Shahjahan Ahmed, Kyle Allison, Zoe Bannister. Jordan Beer, Hannah Bell, and April Butler. Dorcas Chiredza, Adam Cook. Melissa Cooling, Charlotte Doughty, Sarah Dudley. Navneet Gudray, Kaylee Harris, Bridie Hayes. Lucy Hewitt, Amzad Hussain, Thomas Jennings. Mark Johnson, Paige Kettle, Kaiser Khan. Kwok Lee, Megan Manion, Amanda Nkube. Claire Nevin, Manish Patel, Olivia Pettit. Kirsty Place, Lucy Shaw, Victoria Stevenson. Christian Totman, Gemma Vadera. Fazia Hussain, Sahar Khan, and Gweno Owen. Sabina Tariq, Daljit Kaur, and Zoe Bromfield. Daniel Coley, Brogan Cowell, Martin Afosu. Aisha Patel, Matthew West, Natalie Williams. Kitty Bridgewood, Daniel Brownhill, Jordan Elphick. Joshua Fogarty, Katie Gohan, Chloe Harrigan. Kyle Hart, Josephine Hennessy, Jamie Kerry. Daniel Mason, Stephanie Merrick, Oisin O'Malley. William Turner, Sahar Unisa Wahid, Cameron Winstanley. Abigail Wu, Stephanie Wood. Alexander Burgess, David Stokes. Bachelor of Arts degree with honours in Health and Social Care, Rhiannon Brailsford, Emily Cockerill, Donna Deakin. Kim Jordan, Molly Keatley, Laura Maynard. Rosanna Milnes, Keir Ramsdale, Holly Akia. Melissa Bate, Kaylee Carroll, Vivian Dandy. Mandeep Dhaliwal, Gabrielle Floodgate, Meeta Gohill. Chloe Gregory, Dax Horsford. Kirsty Hunt. Taiba Jabin, Lucy Kerr, Jasmine Molyneux. Gemma Nuttall, Caitlin O'Connell, Shante Parkin. Trusha Patel, Holly Pates, Holly Pettifer. Jessica Redfern, Lauren Smith, Sophie Smith. Nicolette Spear, Paige Symington, Anisha Townsend. Colette Underhill, Silmonda Williams, Tesfa Miriam Johannes. Victory Upper, Rachel Bignall, Jodie Lee France. Suman Maksood, Rombitsiai Manvandu. Claire Oakes. Bachelor of Arts degree with honours in Health and Social Care with Criminal Justice, Isabel Armit, Tinashi Zindi, Chloe Andrews. Rosie Bartlett, Shante Cleverly, Chloe Cree. Danielle Gillard, Chloe Grinhalf, Samantha Hartshorn. Washington Kadja, Jade Crossman, Tyler Howell. Ashley Lewis, Priya Rathore, Carla Underhill. Bachelor of Arts degree with honours in Health and Social Care with Guidance and Counselling, Jack Aldridge Deacon. Sarah Metherell, Naina Chumba. Sadia Hussain, Wayne Mulanga, Sophie Simpkins. Sue Ann Thompson, Amy Wildman. Bachelor of Arts degree with honours in Health and Social Care with Health and Wellbeing, Caroline Chawaresa, Carol Lee Ann Muriruwa, Leila Abdi, Lorna Marufu. Bachelor of Arts degree with honours in International Relations, Alan Armstrong, Matthew Pennington, Michelle Akinola. Charles Brooks, Benjamin Covey. Thomas Goucher, Jacob Calarus, and Gabrielle Lewis. Mariam Martins, Hannah Mitchell, Oladeo Olokosoga. Megan Twigg, Adam Wright, Rahel Yibrish. Tolu Ajiboyi, Maximilian Corneli, Carlin Deborah. Gerald Hamilton, Thomas Harrison. Najma Ibrahim, Thomas Mee, Will Quantrill. Bachelor of Arts degree with honours in politics, Daniel Howard, Megan Wanless, Hannah Ayres. Casey Bain Minter, Craig Bichard, Paige Bromley. Matthew Brown, John Callahan, James Davies. Gerard Doherty, Carl Hicks, Ross O'Neill. Will Owens, William Rayfield, Matthew Rooney. James Roycroft Davis, Jessica Swift, Joss Weaver. Niall McHenry, Ashley Norton, Alexander Robertson. Paris Stack, Chetna Trivedi. Jan Hoyer, Orbin Bernard. Bachelor of Arts degree with honours in politics and international relations, Susan Bellow, Jack Davis, Adam Farrow. Jared Kelby Brown, Beatrice Manacero, Joshua Rayner. Sean Bramley, Adam Chadwick. Lucy Greggs, Jack Gregory. Jacob Magarethe, Kutse Mouche. Joe Oxton, Helen Tankard. Daniel Zeth, Michelle Zibiri-Pei, Warren Brown. Felicia Crabb, Daryl Dillon. Henry Kariuki, Kay Zirak. That concludes the presentation of awards for the first group of graduates.
I am pleased to invite Professor Eunice Simmons, Pro-Vice-Chancellor, to give the oration for our honorary graduate, Esther Mujawayo-Keiner, and to present her to the Chancellor to receive her award.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, at a conference in Geneva on human rights and democracy, when our guest of honour, Esther Mujawayo, was addressing delegates, she put up on the screen an old family photograph. It was a happy group picture taken in 1988, when she and her husband Innocent took their newborn daughter Anna, their first child, to meet his family. 6 years later, out of the 10 people in the photo, only Esther and her little girl were still alive. Her husband and his mother, her 2 brothers-in-law, a sister-in-law, and cousins in that group, along with Esther's sister and many other relations, men, women and children, all became victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsis in Rwanda. It was one of the worst human atrocities of the century. During 100 days of slaughter, more than 800,000 Tutsis and moderate Hutus were killed, and about 4 million people were displaced by the violence. Men and boys were the main targets, so that today, widows outnumber widowers 10 to 1. Many of the surviving women also suffered sexual violence, and some were left infected with HIV. But there is help for them, and among those leading international support for victims of genocide is Esther herself. She escaped with Anna and her 2 younger daughters, Amelia and Amanda. They were able to move on and build a new life. Esther had grown up in Rwanda and worked as a teacher before studying in Belgium for a master's degree in social work and sociology. Back home, she taught again and worked with women's organisations. At the time of the Rwandan Civil War and the massacres, she was with Oxfam as deputy country representative for Rwanda, Burundi and Eastern Congo. As a surviving widow, she says, of course, you feel you're in a vacuum with no one to turn to, but eventually you do rediscover yourself. She met up with some 50 widows, and within a year of their terrible experiences, they set up an organisation, Avega Agahozo, to help survivors. Esther became its vice president, And through its centres across Rwanda today, Avega embraces more than 20,000 widows and 71,000 dependents and orphans. It provides a refuge and medical services. It gives psychological counselling and helps with education and training, housing and legal services. Among its achievements, the organisation has saved the lives of many women who caught AIDS from the men who chose to rape them rather than kill them. And with such horrors affecting survivors, Esther saw the need for long-term support, and she decided to refocus her professional skills. She came to the UK to study therapeutic education at the University of East Anglia and train as a trauma therapist. Back in Rwanda, she worked full-time with Avega, with support from Oxfam. She was also chief executive of a national fund to assist victims of genocide. Trauma counselling has helped thousands of women to overcome the desperation and the sense of stigma that they were left with. They have, in Esther's words, rediscovered themselves and are able to repair their lives. Avega now has more than 1,000 volunteer counsellors to keep up the work. It has also set up hundreds of initiatives in farming with livestock and crops, handicrafts, small businesses, internet cafes, and education and training programs. Today, she is Esther Mujawayo-Keiner, living in Germany with her second husband, Pastor Helmut Keiner, and family. She is based at the Psychosocial Centre for Refugees in Düsseldorf. It helps severely traumatized victims from many parts of the world, and some of them are those who inflicted violence, children and young people who were exploited and forced into joining armed units as a chance of survival. They too are victims. As an author and conference speaker, Esther is a compelling advocate for international compassion and a tireless campaigner for action to help refugees. She has spoken at conferences and events in Britain, South Africa, Belgium, Canada, and many other places. She has published 2 books with journalist Suad Belhaddad about her experiences. Refugees are usually the casualties of extreme or broken down political situations, but politicians often struggle to decide what to do about them. It is fortunate that people like Esther and her organisations are there to get on with the job. Where politics fails, humanity has to step in. Chancellor, it gives me great pleasure to present to you this person distinguished in eminence and by attainments for the conferment of the degree of Doctor of Social Sciences honoris causa in recognition of her significant and compassionate contribution to the care of the victims of genocide, Esther Mujawayo-Keiner.
I'm so moved, and I'm also so honored for today, for your recognition, because for 21 years in Rwanda, at the time, actually the same time, in April, when the genocide was starting, a planned extermination of a group of people, the Tutsi, it took place, and I was condemned to die. And you can understand why it is so moving for me. I didn't die, and today I'm with you in a nice place, in a nice university, with young people who are committed, who are trying hard. So it is really like a challenge. It's my revenge on the death. I'm alive. How could it happen? There are many questions. How could it happen after the Never Again, after the Geneva Convention, after the whole international community have said, wherever a genocide took place, wherever a group of people are going to be exterminated, just because they are what they are, we will intervene. It was only 50 years after that. The international community was there. The UN was there. They didn't intervene. They left us. You can ask also how a government plans and executes a genocide, how a government plans, how politicians plan. They plan to exterminate one group of them. We were citizens of Rwanda. It was our government who decided that we have to die. You can also ask yourself how a normal neighbor, because it was our neighbors, turns into a killer. People you know, people you have been to school together, young people like you, old people like us, very normal people. Excuse me for me in Africa. Old people is such a no-no. And I forget that I'm in Europe, okay. All wise people like us. I'm 56, okay. How do they turn into killer? So there's another question mark. You can also wonder how the propaganda works, how it goes step by step, and slowly, it is like a poison. When do you realize that it is poisoning the whole society, and when do you react? How do you analyze that nearly the whole society lost its fundamental values? Because for a genocide to be possible, for your neighbor to be convinced that you have to die and I have to kill you, for your government to do that, for all the normal authorities, the religion, the elderly, the people who usually will say stop, how do you make it possible that all those values are broken down? I think when you look at Rwanda now, when you look at what happened, one can research, a lot of researches. One can write a thesis. So there are still many theses to write from what happened. Unfortunately, for us, for me, it was not a research at that time. I was there. As I said, I was part of the group to exterminate. My daughters, they were 6 months, 3 years, and 5 years old. Fortunately, they survived. They are here today. Nobody else. Their father, my husband, my parents, the parents-in-law, the whole family, more than 1 million people, Tutsis mostly, were exterminated. With other widows, as they told you, we came together, we founded Avega, a new family, a new clan, because afterwards, we were completely lost. Actually, we thought that we were mad. We didn't know at the time that we are traumatized. We did not have the whole theory about it, but we have all the consequences. But by coming together, by talking, by being again, by crying, by helping each other, slowly, we start making steps. And fortunately, friends, not only from Rwanda, but also friends from abroad, they come in and they listen to us. And this is why I really want to thank personally your Chancellor, Kevin Cahill. He's the man who directed Comic Relief, and this organization came to us. And we could hold our hands together as widows, but we also could hold hands of people from abroad. When they come in first, we were trying, to build lives, to build houses, to build everything, because everything has been destroyed. So we're working in all directions. And I remember NGOs asking us to be specific, if you want, do this and do that, but we couldn't be specific. We have to rebuild the heart, as we say, with the psychotherapy that we start to learn, that I went to learn. We have to build houses. We were women. We were not allowed to go up on a house, but we have to break some rules. To be able to make a genocide, they break values. So what is about to break some roles, like female don't go this, don't do that. Actually, we were very brave, but we were also very cynical, and this helped us a lot. We said, let us, guys, come together. Why? We can't go up on the buildings and do houses and do those works, or why we cannot milk the cows. Actually, with our cynicism, but also our humor, we realized that the only difference was that if you wear a skirt and you don't wear a trouser, then it is not comfortable. If you go up the house, they will see your nakedness. So we said, excuse me, we can also wear trousers, and we'll milk the cows ourselves. We'll do those things which we're not allowed to do before. And actually, from this being obliged to do, because our husband, our brothers, our fathers, they were never and no longer there, we had to do new roles. And it was a big challenge. And I remember we were walking like mad, but we did it. And actually, when you hear that all the challenges in Rwanda, when you hear that women now in the parliament are in majority, before it was Sweden, now Rwanda is far away from Sweden. So we are so proud of all those changes, even though they came from the sadness of what we went through. But we learn from the pain, from the suffering, learn to do something from it. If you don't do, you are dying a second time. And we have decided, no, we are not going to die a second time, we are going to be alive. And as I was telling you, this is how Comic Relief came in, and with financial help, we have been able to rebuild our lives. At some point, it was very critical, because even if we were motivated, if we were courageous, nearly 80% of the women who survived have been raped, and they have been infected with AIDS. So people were dying. And again, it is nice to say, let us be alive, but this time they were dying. And this is when, for those who are lucky, who have seen, we made a very powerful documentary with Comic Relief called Hope in Hell for 14 years. I think it was on Red Nose Day, and it was really a very powerful documentary to see women who are just thinking, what happens when I die? Where am I going to leave my child? What is going to happen? And actually, I'm so proud to say, Kevin, that in January we went together again to Rwanda, and those women, they didn't die. And those babies, they are not left alone. They have houses. The mothers are healthy, and the children are growing. And actually, I hope they will be graduating like you are doing. So I think, again, all those points, one can make so many theses, and I hope you will make them, and our children will make them. I just want to conclude by telling you something which helped us a lot. When we thought about our past, when you look about what you suffer, for us it was the extreme, it was the genocide, but everyone in this room has his own suffering. So our motto in Avega, we said, look, we like cows a lot in Rwanda. So when the cows are out of the fence in the morning, we collect all the manure, and there is a place behind the fence where we put all this manure. In Kinyarwanda, it is called Ichukiro. It is a very stinking place. It is not a nice place. So we will not go to sit nearby to have a chat. But when you decide to grow a banana in this corner, when you decide to grow a pumpkin in the corner, it produced the best. It produced such big banana, produced such big pumpkin. And I think this is what we did in Avega. We decided, okay, our stories, our history, it is thinking. It is bad. If we stay in that, everybody will keep away of us. But when we decided, let us make it, produce some nice things, then it is growing today in Rwanda. And I see you also growing like our children are growing. And it is really, for me, a such honor. And I say thanks to the Nottingham Trent University for recognizing that and for giving us this honor degree. I think it is, okay, you called me, but it is also for all the widows or the women who decided together, together that life is more than anything else. I thank you, and I congratulate you guys.
Thank you, Esther. Would the stewards please bring forward the next group of graduands? I invite the Chancellor and Cathy Moore to return to their places on stage.
Chancellor, the following have also qualified for awards from the School of Social Sciences. Bachelor of Science degree with honours in Psychology, Aisha Armstrong, Oliver Barnes, Catherine Blackburn. Lucy Hart, Sophie Horan, Laura Kenny. Louisa Retty, Sejhej Sani, Alice Selwood. Jennifer Simpson, Ruby Stollerman, Gemma Yates. Natalie Adams, Holly Ayling, Charles Baker. Robert Becker, Naomi Boddy, Hannah Bowles. Henry Briscoe, Rachel Bryden, Lucy Bunce. Krishna Chowan, Elizabeth Croot, Elizabeth Curtis. Nathan Essen, Sian Evans, Holly Fraser. Katie Free, Iona Garnett, Catherine Garnett. Timothy Godfrey, Martha Gregson, Tonita Hallam. Matthew Hardacre, Jennifer Holland, Lisa Huff. Darcy Houghton Long, William Hunter, Farah Hussein. Saba Iklak, Roberta Jenkins, Emma Louise Kelly. Alexandra Lindley, Susan McGrath, Hemma McGuinness. Kirsten McIntosh, Scott McMurray, Kerry Nug. Catherine Nutjins, Erin O'Donnell, Jasmine Padmore. Polly Pattison, Chloe Poole, Nikita Poppet. Kaylee Regan, Charlotte Robinson, Jessica Sims. Ben Staples, Sophie Stocks, Ross Stockley. Daniel Sullivan, Eleanor Tarrant-Taylor, Elizabeth Townsend. Kirsten Wilson, Yasmin Williscroft. Aksa Begum, Lydia Fry, Anna Scoron. Yasmin Samoro, Alexandra Sutton. Samuel Griffiths, Charlotte Burrows, Amy George. Bachelor of Science degree with honours in Psychology with Criminology, Paige Black, Anna Chataway, Junaid Corriott. Alexandra Deeves, Ailish Folan, Sarjan Gruel. Vanessa Haralambus, Sarah Kane, Lauren Moore. Harriet Ridley, Hashita Bajoria, Priya Bangera. Darius Cook, Hannah Drake, Hannah Ekara. Amy Everall, Holly Fothergill, Seema Golrez. Hannah Hillary, Kaylee Jade Hyde Rouse, Carla Kirkham. Laura Leahy, Craig Lewis, Thomas Lunnan. Madeleine Martin, Kenna McCarthy, Charlotte Medwell. Claire Medler, Miranda Marchant, Rebecca Nightingale. Olivia Oyeshiku Taylor, Zara Patel, James Pattison. Rebecca Pearce, Gabriella Policarpo, Emily Pope. Abigail Price, Charlotte Revel, Nakisha Salmon. Michelle Shaw, Charlotte Sinclair, Zoe Spencer. Fiona Subo, Abigail Taylor, Shavina Ward. Rochella Warren, Lauren Wheeler, Kaya Windrich. Anna Whippich, Rebecca Yates, Nicole Gill. Laura Greenwood, Eleanor Ludlow, Aisha Mahmood. Samuel Rogers, Rahima Yunus. Bachelor of Science degree with honours in psychology with sociology, Claire Britton, Ellen Gillespie. Chantel Johnson, Sondos Metwali, Matthew Maloney. Laura Slater, Joseph Jabowski, Rosie Ashenhurst. Michael Carr, Amanda Catini, Gemma Collin. Louise Daly-Gray, Alexandra Head, Gabrielle Laitman. Yang Ling Lee, Molly Mulhern. Rebecca Pohl, Shona Stevenson, Maria Stoyanov. Victoria Sullivan, Josephine Walker, Michaela Watson. Shreya Gadia, Sophia Garifano, Susan Wachek-Gathir. Zara Iqbal, Hadia Shabir, Thomas Woodward Massey. Bachelor of Arts degree with honours in social work, Kerry Greaves. Respect Agbifo Ogwigpo, Sherry Gregory. Donna Bradbury, Rick Hughes, Sarah Brennan. Bachelor of Arts degree with honours in social work, professional qualification, Anne Cutts, Hannah Jackson. Carmen Cameron Matunga, Kathleen Horan. Bachelor of Arts degree with honours in sociology, Olivia Brooks, Mitchell Bull, Daisy Chetwood. Rachel Gibson, Nicola Kelly, Henna Akhtar. Lorcan Boyd, Holly Brailsford, Hannah Carpenter. Renee Deely, Yasmin Eresh, Catherine Gray. Rebecca Lynch, Faye Masters, Patrick O'Hanlon. Anna Scott, Madeline Street, Jordan Taylor. Robin Theobald, Lane Thompson Simon, Ellis Whitehouse. James Balding, Karina Callow, Jessica Claydon. Brianna Gamblin, Davina Johal. Colt May, Curtis Reeves, Natasha Yates. Bachelor of Arts degree with honours in Sociology and Politics, Stephen Jogella, Alicia Smith, Toby Blunston. Miles Duran, John McNicholas, Harleen Ray. Thomas Ryan, Samantha Tawndry, Jessica Turner. Lauren Wallace, Leslie Ann Beckford, Simranjeet Dosanjh. Michael Eyre, Ryan Gilbourne, Raisa Khan. Rifat Perviez, Fraser Wing. Bachelor of Arts degree with honours in Youth Justice, Adam Childs, Francesca Coates, Naomi Curry. Adiba Javid, Daniel Mason, Melissa McAvoy. Julian Morris, Emma North, Carmen Urquhart. Daniel Webber, Ishmael Ahmed, Esther Asidi. Jenny Barrett, Grania Brannigan, Samuel Edmondson. Asham Fayez, William Goring, Rose Heppel. Nathan Lewis, Katie Lynch, Rachel Mills. Freya Owen, Amapreet Pawar, Georgina Smith. Shanique Tuitt, Megan West, Deanna Marie Weston. Siobhan Brady, Caroline Holland, Essie Aitua. Emma Kettle, Krishna Kathari. Lauren Middleton, Tanya Youssef. Bachelor of Arts degree with honours in Youth Studies, Nicole Alders, Leanne Haywood, Claire Morton. Rachel Julie Nally, Laura North, Hayley Cersei. Sarah Sheehan, Jade Wowes, Stevie Aitchinson. Ebony Brown, Emily Elks, Katie Bratton. Henna Hussain, Shazia Jamil. Karen Lloyd, Lucy Maxwell, Orla O'Mahony. Rebecca Simons, Rosina Tash. Simone Adu Jamamphi, Jade Archer, Christina Campbell, Michael Guivi, Olivia McCalla, Danielle Taylor, Kirsty Webster. Bachelor degrees with honours, Jessica Najin, Anna Mukwashi, Eleanor Jones. Thaddeus Jackson, Kieran Powell, Hoa Haruna. Balan Mahroof, Vimbe Gambiza, Kelly Maddox. I now invite the Chancellor to present our next award this afternoon. This award goes to a graduate who has just received an honours degree in psychology with sociology. This graduate is a high achiever, and her skills and competencies extend beyond what is expected at undergraduate level. To give you one example, when holding a research assistant post within NTU, she worked on a project that explored cyberbullying, in which she developed a comprehensive set of communication and interpretive skills. She demonstrated proficiency in analysing and presenting data succinctly and informatively, and represented the university at both the British Psychological Society Annual Conference and the Houses of Parliament, where she presented results of the study. She remains an active member within the psychology community and has seen her work published in Psychology Review. This graduate chose to divide her efforts and time as much to community work as to achieving academic excellence. For example, she volunteered at the Headway Brain Injury Clinic, where she was commended by the organisation for demonstrating vigilance towards the patient's lifestyles, which enabled the most appropriate community integration strategies to be implemented. She also volunteered at St Martin's Preparatory School as an educational assistant, where she presented high levels of evaluative skills with regards to the children's development advancements, in order to formulate tailored action plans with teaching staff and with parents. This graduate's voluntary work has undoubtedly had a positive and lasting effect on the wider community. The Vice-Chancellor's Award for the School of Social Sciences is presented to Sandy Metwally. That concludes the presentation of awards from the School of Social Sciences to former students at this afternoon's ceremony.
In absentia. Chancellor, I invite you to confer degrees on those candidates who have not been presented to you in person, but who have indicated that they wish their awards to be conferred in their absence. I certify that these graduates are worthy to receive their degrees, and I stand as proxy for them. Thank you, Chancellor. Sandy Metwally, who earlier received a BSc Honours in Psychology with Sociology and the Vice-Chancellor's Award, We'll now propose a student vote of thanks.
Thank you. Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, fellow graduates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am truly honoured to be standing before you on such a momentous day. It's a tremendous feeling to be recognised for your hard work and achievement, and I would like to take this opportunity to extend my gratitude to everyone who made my achievements possible and to those who made the success of every graduand here possible. On behalf of my fellow graduates, I would first like to give thanks to the Chancellor, Kevin Cahill, and the Deans of School for presenting us with our awards today. I would also like to give thanks to all of the teaching staff for their continual guidance and tutorial support, and to other university staff for their contribution to the success of the graduates during their time at university. We would not be present today as successful graduates without their continual guidance. I would also like to extend a thank you to all family, friends, and fellow graduates on behalf of all the graduates for the support given whilst at the university. And finally, a thank you to the Academic Office Ceremonial team for organising the event. On a more personal note, I would like to give thanks to certain staff members who greatly shaped my experience at university. To Doctors Mark Sargent and Maria Contagiani for recognising my potential from first year and supporting me thereon after. To Dr. Eva Zisk for demonstrating exactly the type of psychologist I hope to become. And to Dr. Alexander Sumich for his continual support throughout my final year project this year. I would also like to thank my parents for their unwavering encouragement and for instilling in me the motivation to achieve to the best of my ability. Finally, to each and every student at today's graduation ceremony, I extend a warm congratulations on your outstanding achievement. Today is a day where you should feel extremely proud of your success, and I hope you all carry on your passion and perseverance into every aspect of your lives. As we have all proven our exceptional abilities, and as we move on to the next pivotal chapters of our lives, I would like to leave you with a quote from Professor Albus Dumbledore. It is our choices that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities. I hope you all make wonderful choices in your lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. I now invite the Chancellor to draw this ceremony to a close.
Thank you. As you can see, I'm keeping the Dumbledore theme going with the costume. I just wanted to say that this is the second summer that I've been here in this privileged position as Chancellor of Nottingham Trent. And it doesn't get any better than this. I often get asked in the course of my work to speak to people, but this is such a joyous occasion that I'm really, really loving it and hope to carry on, for some time to come. It's such a special day. We've heard wonderful things said this afternoon, and I'd obviously encourage all of you graduates now or postgraduates, you've all passed through and done exceedingly well, to enjoy the day, the rest of it, because this will be one of the best days of your life and a true rite of passage. And I'd like to add my congratulations to those expressed by Edward earlier. Days like this really are the icing on the cake. I say it's my second summer, which makes it 1 year. And it's been a big year, particularly in the university sector and in the story of this particular university. The sector's never faced bigger challenges than it has at the moment with the public spending climate as in the way that it is. And I think it will be incumbent on Edward and his staff to guide it through a difficult period and, really take advantage of the excellence that is on display here at Nottingham Trent. It's also been a big year because there is a new Vice-Chancellor, and Edward has been doing what all great leaders do, has been taking stock, looking at the assets of the university, and then looking forward with the staff team, with all of you, the student body and all of the staff, people on the various campuses, to try and imagine what the best future would be for Nottingham Trent. And as a result, the university has produced a new strategy for the next 5 years. And whilst I haven't got time to go into it fully here, because I'm sure that you want to return, celebrate all together, but there are a few things a few points I'd like to make to give you a flavour of that. The strategy sees the university evolving, sees it staying relevant in the modern world. It's bold in ambition, it's clear in approach, and it's practical in its application. 2 or 3 of the themes that emerge through it have been referenced already this afternoon, but one is around valuing ideas, that is, making the most of the creativity that exists in this community and being as innovative as possible. A second is creating opportunity. Again, we've heard a little bit about this, but it's about giving all of the students here the opportunity to experience the world of work and to be prepared to make that next step and to fulfill all of your potential. A third theme is around enriching society. And there's a special fund being set up which is quite imaginative that really helps small and medium-sized businesses that are thought up and brought into being by yourselves to get off the ground and to become successful and to produce employment both locally and nationally and internationally. And on that theme of international, there is connecting globally. No university is an island. It has to reach out not only to its own community, but to strike world-class partnerships in order to fulfill its potential. And those themes are all writ large in the new strategy, which I'm sure you won't have had an opportunity to read yet, but I do commend it to you, and I think you can find it online at the university's website. Just moving on to a more personal note now. My day job is running Comic Relief, which is another privilege in my life. It's an amazing organization to be the head of. One of the brilliant things about it is the people that we're able to kind of meet in the course of our work and the impact that they are able to have on us and their own communities. So it was brilliant to see Esther here today. I first met her 20 years ago, on one of the most moving days of my life, actually, because I'd landed in Kigali, because Comic Relief had heard about the situation of the widows of the genocide. And it was on Mother's Day, and our flight was late, so the mothers who were waiting to meet us on a hillside had sat there patiently for 2 or 3 hours, I think. And when we got there were about, I think, 60 women and probably 300 children. And then each of those women, in a strange way, testified. They stood up and said, "My name's Mary. These are my children. These are my sister's children. These are my auntie's children. Because my husband's dead, my father's dead, my aunt is dead, and I've taken in this family." And they each had an extended family. And as we got to know the women more and were able to talk to the British people about their situation, it became clear what a terrible trauma they'd been through, but also how determined they were to make a difference to their own lives and build a future. When, as Esther said, a lot of the women started to present with HIV because they'd been raped by HIV-positive soldiers, it was another blow, and that was 5 years later because of the incubation period of the disease. And we met many women who were at death's door then, once the HIV took hold. It was a very, very dark moment. But the brilliant thing is we reached out to the British public and asked them to give money. And if you ever supported Comic Relief, which I'm sure many of you in the room will have done, which I thank you for, the money that was given, which was many millions of pounds, did help make a difference. And the brilliant thing was I got a phone call from Esther about 18 months ago. She said, "Eugenie," actually 2 things you didn't hear about Esther was, one is she's got a wicked sense of humor, And the other is you never arrive anywhere on time with her in Kigali because every single person in the city wants to speak to her as she walks down the street. So you can never make progress because she's talking all the time. But she called me and she said that Eugenie, who was a young girl who we'd filmed with when she was 16 and her prognosis was pretty awful. She'd wanted a baby, she'd survived and she'd got access to AZTs, ART therapy, and she'd had a baby, and Esther was so excited to call me and say that Eugenie had had a baby, and her baby was HIV negative, which was the other piece of brilliant news. And so we decided to go back, and I took Paul Bradley, who's the actor who used to be Nigel in EastEnders. He's recently been in Holby City. He's the hairy one with the beard. And we met the women again, and it was an extraordinary story of recovery and these tiny miracles that had happened. And the fear they'd had was that they wouldn't see their own children live to grow up because they would die of AIDS. And the amazing thing was so many of the women had survived and their kids had grown up. We met this woman, Gatarina, and she had these two small boys, and she said, "Do you want to see my boys?" And they came out of this small home of theirs, and they were both over 6 foot, and one was a civil engineer, and one was doing a science degree at a university. And it was completely brilliant. And the brilliant thing was, what made the difference in their lives was actually the education that they were able to receive, which is why this is, as I say, such a thrilling day. We made a short film in South Sudan last year, and this 12-year-old girl, who was Scovia, talked about how she'd heard guns being fired and she'd had to grab what she could and get out of the home with her mum and to try and get to somewhere safe. And this girl turned out to be obsessed by education. And I've got this short quote because she said this on film. I called my office today to ask them to send me the quote because I thought it was so germane to what we're looking at. She said, this was a 12-year-old girl, "If I stay here, I don't think my future is going to be bright the way I need. I ran with my books, even if I did not run with any clothes, but I just ran with the books. I wanted to have an education. That is my plan. So I must have an education unless I am dead. But if I am alive, I must." I say that because the hunger and determination when you visit some of the poorest communities of the world of the children to get an education is quite remarkable, and it always strikes you. And I think, in this seat of learning, I would obviously ask you as successful graduates to treasure the education you've had from this extraordinary institution and university. And Edward made this point as well, but you're now, as you become graduates, you become alumni, so you're part of this bigger family. And you make friends at university who stay with you for the rest of your lives, so celebrate those friendships. And do please remain part of this wider family that you're a member of. There are a few things I'd just like to say in conclusion. One is you should never fear failure. I was reading something about Steve Jobs the other day, but Steve Jobs says the best thing that happened to him in his life was when Apple actually sacked him. He was the chief executive and he got fired by someone he brought in to help run the company. And he said that being fired, and in a sense of failure because he hadn't succeeded in the job, drove him on, and subsequently he went on to create Pixar and to go back to Apple and be quite an extraordinary entrepreneur and leader. I'd say be passionate, do things that you're really, really passionate about. W.B. Yeats said that education is not the filling of the pail, it is the lighting of the fire. And I'm sure you'll have all had that fire lit within you while you've been here. And so do be passionate. Take risks. Esther talked about taking risks earlier. The women who rebuilt their community took risks. They took risks of taking on different jobs, of being kind of criticized by the community for stepping out of their gender roles and so on and so forth. But actually, they asserted themselves as women and took control of their lives. And the results are here to see. As we heard, Rwanda now has the highest proportion of women in parliament of any country in the world. And be true to yourself as well. We've heard a lot about values today, but I think it's really important to establish your own value system. Comic Relief is an organization that has a strong value system, and I think most of the staff there have their own code of values that drives them on to do good in life, because you are an enormous force for good as you leave here today. and I would encourage you to be true to yourselves and to find those values. Oscar Wilde said, live your own life to the full because all the others are taken, and I would encourage you to live yours to the full. In the next day or two, Edward touched on this as well, if you get the chance to thank somebody special in your life who's helped you come on this journey, then find a quiet moment to do it, as well as the round of applause that we had earlier. Greg Dyke is a friend of mine who's the Chancellor of York University, and he was shaking the hands like me one day, and he said that when one boy came up, there was this loud scream from the back, because people don't quite know the protocol on days like this. And he shook hands with the boy, and he said, "Who is that?" He said, "It was my mother." And he said, "Are you embarrassed?" And to which the boy said, "She's done far more embarrassing things than that in my life." But I'd like to, in a way, echo on a note that reflects that, because we've had a couple of really polite rounds of applause, but as I say, you don't quite know how much noise to make at moments like this. It would be brilliant if we could go out with everyone making as much noise as we possibly can. So if I count to 3, I'd love you to cheer yourself, cheer your family, cheer the tutors, cheer Nottingham, cheer a great moment you had while you were at university here. But could we just try and lift the roof for about 10 or 20 seconds? So I'm going to count to 3. I'll start. Right, 1, 2, 3. Come on! Thank you. Keep it going, keep it going.
Thank you, Chancellor. We would now like to invite you to join us for some refreshments. These are available in the Newton building, which can be reached through the Nottingham Conference Centre, and we look forward to seeing you there. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the processional music and remain standing while the platform party leaves the hall.